Welcome to Scundered, the podcast about embarrassing stories. My guest today is the multi-talented Gemma Hutton. She is I'm going to have to read a list out here, hang on. She's the host of the Cabaret Supper Club in Belfast, stand-up comedian, presenter, Dick Von Dyke, we'll explain that later. She's a mum and a wedding celebrant. So basically book her now because she's very, very busy. Please welcome Gemma Hutton. Yay!
The crowd go wild. I know, imagine having your finger in so many pies.
I misheard that straight away.
No, you didn't.
Imagine, what is it like? You are busy.
I am very busy, but like I think as a performer, and I'm sure you know this, you do have to have many hats.
Yes.
So yeah, but I feel very, very lucky that I've been able to keep all the plates spinning.
Yeah. Which is the plate what's the biggest plate at the minute?
At the minute, it's gone. We're just coming out of wedding season.
Right, of course.
So I've done about 25 weddings this year.
Oh my goodness.
And which is like, it never gets old. It never gets old.
So you're a humanist wedding celebrant. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And are you, so is it all through the year or do you get clusters of like?
You definitely get clusters.
You get clusters.
You get
right,
clusters.
okay.
But you get your classic cluster, which is like May to June. But then I also get my spooky ones because I'm like, I'm a big lesbian covered in tattoos. Of course, the metal ones, the ones that want to get married in the Empire, the ones that want something that's
class.
autumn vibes. I tend to get those couples too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And do you, obviously, it's a very sort of personalised wedding ceremony, I would imagine. So do you spend loads of time with the couples in the run up to it, or are you just like, send me a Word document, I'll see you on the day?
It's a bit of a blend.
Yeah.
It depends on the couple. Some couples really want sort of their hand held through the process.
Yeah.
And I could have multiple coffee meetings with them, multiple Zooms.
Mm-hmm.
Some couples do just want to fill in a questionnaire and then have a final prep meeting.
Yes.
The key thing is because it's bespoke, you just communicate with them and find out what they want.
When I got married, which is nearly 10 years ago now.
Is it?
Wait, yeah, I know. It'll be 10 years next year. You weren't a celebrant at that point,
No,
because I genuinely think we might have asked you. I can say that now because you weren't. But anyway. But we had I cannot remember the name of this organisation. We didn't get married in the church. We didn't get married in the registry office. We had a very nice lady from online church, I think, called...
Yeah.
It sounds totally
Do you
legitimate.
check your paperwork?
I know. Yeah. Facebook Marketplace.
Legally.
It was called the Church of All, the All Saints. I need to look it up. It was something that incorporated. It means I can just leave at any time, to be honest with you, without having to go through the process. She was great. It was a secular service, but she incorporated all religions, including those with no religion, which I liked.
Yeah, so probably like an interfaith as well.
It was,
interfaith celebrant,
but you could have as
solemnizer.
much or as none, so we didn't have any religious elements to it. But the whole way through getting married, me and Fraser had the same. We kept meeting with our celebrant or the person, or talking to photographers. We kept forgetting we were going to be sort of hiring them. We went into audition mode for everybody we met. So we were like, would you like to be our photographer? Look, we're great, crack, we're great. And we're like, actually, we're paying him. Yeah. Why are we trying to sell ourselves?
I know. And like I just say, like it's sort of like a low-key interview for me. Yeah. And I always, like, when I do a Zoom with couples and stuff, I'm like, I'm going to freeze your date for 24 hours. Go have a little chat and think. Or if they're telling me they're going to talk to other people, then, they can chat to them. So I don't like to pressure people. It feels ick.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not for you, I'm not for you.
Yeah.
There's always somebody for everyone. But I don't do any religion. But I also stipulate that I'm not anti-religious.
Yes.
We're just non-religious.
Yeah.
So that's it.
No, I loved it. We had Emma Little. You know Emma, my friend Emma, your friend Emma. She did one of our readings, and it was one of our readings was this thing about comedy. So like we had loads of quite older relatives just going, "What is this?
Yeah,
what is this?"
The Presbyterians are fucking shook when they're in. You can see them like clutching. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, "This is a cult."
When's communion?
Right.
It's a bit confusing for everybody.
Listen, if I could integrate some sort of form of eating into my ceremonies, of course I would. Do you know what I mean? I have a wedding coming up that is it's two women and it is literally campus tits.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have, but like really meaningful and thoughtful. Like it is exactly when you meet these two, they're so full of pride and they're wonderful activists and they're also mums and every element of who they are as people is in there. We've got sing-alongs.
Oh, class.
They're called hers instead of hims.
Yeah.
They're doing it at like the Show Some Love greenhouse, which is somewhere that they're very passionate about. So everything about their wedding is exactly what you'd expect from them, and they haven't held back, and I'm buzzing about it.
Yes.
So it's great. And then they're booking me for drag afterwards, so I'm like,
I was going to say to you, do you perform at weddings as well then?
Yeah, but I'll do like the evening or the reception or whatever.
Yeah.
And I will tend to only do it for LGBTQ people. I have one wedding that is looking for me to do their wedding in drag. So that'll be the first ever.
Oh, right. As the celebrant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do something that takes away from the sanctity of marriage in terms of belittles what's happening.
Yeah.
But because being in drag is a massive part of queer culture.
Yeah.
I will only ever do it for a queer couple that explain to me why they want it. So it's not for sensationalists.
So it's not like a novelty type sort of
it's
like,
more about,
look at that. Yeah.
They met at a drag show.
Yeah.
They love the play of gender, and that's part of who they are as people. So, you know, it's not done lightly, but I'm very excited about it.
Yes.
I'm going to rhinestone some seriously.
No, you can't outshine it. You're going to have to be careful about what you wear, because you can't be detracting from the bride.
I mean, if you hire drag...
What do you expect? Just don't be stood there in white, whatever it is. You know, it just
Me
can't
in
be.
a dress. So I know it's going to be drag king, and then I saw this dress. I was like, oh.
Veil and everything.
Yeah. No.
I got to perform at a wedding for two women who had gone on their first date to a gig that I was performing at.
Cute.
Which I thought was really nice.
That's so nice.
So, and they were like, could you come? And I was very happy to do it. Very, very happy to do it. Please book me to do those things again. But it was weird in the sense for me, because literally nobody else at that wedding knew who the hell I was,
right?
What my act was, or anything. Now, these two were like, we love it, it's great. I'd written them a song about them, because I'd got in touch with one of their friends, and I was like, just give me some funny things about them. So this song was all about like their first date and stuff, and not stuff that even they had shared with me. So I learned a lot from that gig, you know, because I walked in.
It's a lot.
Nobody introduced me. The audience, the wedding party were all just sitting after dinner having drinks. And I walked in, and I thought it would be funny to walk in like someone who hadn't been invited and was really annoyed. So I had a microphone, and I was like, well, you thought you could keep me away from the wedding? Here I am. You know, like the older guests were like, oh no, something bad's happening. And it was me in like a fur coat with a bottle of gin. So the brides loved it. But I think everybody else was a bit like, I don't know what's happening.
That's the thing with weddings. Like, when couples book you, it's because you're their favourite thing. Yeah, I know. And they're like so delighted you're doing it.
And everyone else is like, what?
And everyone's like, so like I did this, like, and do you know what? I'm really good friends with my, do you know what's lovely? I've made so many friendships out of doing this. And two of a couple that I married up 2-3 years ago, I'm actually really good friends with. They're now my regular tattooist. We're besties. They do drag with me now. But they had hired me to do drag for their wedding reception. But very few of the family got the memo. Like, it was just a lot.
Just a bit confusing.
And then I went, oh, I forget that outside the realm of my normal gigs, these people exist that aren't exposed to drag culture or comedy or caricatures or whatever it is you're doing. And there's never a more telling moment than when you're booked for a wedding and you're like, oh, I got booked for a wedding. This is great.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
you earn your money. Let's just say that.
And that is why you charge what you charge for weddings.
Yes.
And that's the thing.
I've done a wedding where I went on the second day of the wedding. So it was like the day after when everybody was hungover.
When did day two start though?
I don't know. It's crazy. It's like long weekends, as if it wasn't expensive enough already. I know. I wish I could go back now and I would spend less money on the wedding and just spread it out with fewer people. That sounds really weird. I would just spread it out with fewer people. Just go and rent a house somewhere, spend the weekend.
I think like a sesh. Yeah.
Because I didn't really get to. People say this about weddings all the time. Like, you don't really get to actually enjoy it and sort of speak to people properly.
Yeah. People always forget that you're not the hosts. You're the guests of honor. And I always say that to my couples.
I actually did forget. I did end up like the host. Yeah.
You end up mammying everyone.
Someone actually said to me on my wedding day, and I was just being so polite. Somebody was drunk and she went, you look like, you know those things your granny used to put on top of toilet rolls to keep them, do you know what I mean? Those wee dolls that used to put.
I do know what you mean.
And I was like, I'm the bride? Like, get out. But I was like, well, I'm the host. I'm just making sure everyone else has a nice time. When I think about it now, I'd be like, you can leave now. But anyway, I was going to ask you about Cabaret Supper Club because my mum and dad, I've been a few times, not in ages, and I've seen you saying it.
I've chatted to you in the crowd, yeah.
My mum and dad went not that long ago and they absolutely loved it, right? They absolutely loved it.
I was on.
You were on and you were hosting and you were in drag and it wasn't long after we had done the touts at the same time. Do you remember the touts, right?
I want to talk about that, thanks.
So, yeah. And anyway, my mum and dad were like, oh, we had a brilliant time. It was great. And they have a photo. They have a photo of you because you sort of like leant over to speak to them and they have a photo of the three of us. And I went, oh, that's Gemma from the touts. My mum was like, what? What? I was like, that's Gemma from the touts. That's a woman? And I was like, yes.
There is a certain age of demographic.
Completely like, what?
I don't know what people think. Like, because there's so few drag kings out there.
Yeah.
Which is about to change, thankfully.
Yeah.
I think that people think drag queens, oh, that's a bloke dressed as a woman.
Yes.
It isn't necessarily always the case. But then they see me, and do you know that meme where it's just that woman surrounded by algebra?
Yeah, just like,
and they're like,
wait
a minute, what's this gender? And I follow Rossi, and I just say that I identify as a massive ride. But yeah, you can see people working it out, and there is always like every few weeks you'll just get a drunk person go, is that a woman? And it's normally it's normally when I turn around and they see my ass.
Okay. Oh, that's the giveaway.
Well, you know, the baps are strapped.
Right, okay.
They're like under my arms, and that's not because of the strap, and that's because I'm 41 next week. But yeah. It's more
so are we gonna see a rise in drag kings?
Yes.
In Belfast. Brilliant.
Yeah. I did a drag king course there and came up with this absolute gorgeous bunch of kings, all gender identities, all sexual identities.
Yeah.
It was there was no questions asked, and they got to perform at Pride, and that was the first time we'd ever had a king section, and now I have a drag king night.
Right.
Well, it's Kings and Things technically, so it's basically.
And where's that?
It's going to be in Shoe Factory.
Okay.
On the 26th of September, and I put it on sale on Saturday. There was like 100 tickets, and there's 16 left.
Oh wow!
So it's obviously wanted.
Yeah.
And it's just a space for anybody who feels that they don't fit into the classic drag queen aesthetic.
Yeah.
Normally from like a assigned female at birth kind of background.
Yeah, because I guess, certainly in Northern Ireland, we're a wee bit behind the times sometimes. But you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know this, Gemma. But I guess in like popular culture and stuff like that, people have less of a frame of reference for drag kings. They don't, like people aren't. You don't see anything like that in like RuPaul's Drag Race or stuff like that. So maybe it does take people a wee minute to go, oh right, okay, this exists.
Yeah, I think what they're framing for that would be misogyny.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can somewhat grasp that may occur in other platforms.
That may do.
Maybe like in comedy for women and stuff.
I know. Well, yes, let's talk about that.
Yeah. So, the reason like we're not on, it's not seen as proper drag because we're not tucking our balls up. But I have to tuck my tits away, and they're sizably bigger than most tit balls. I did a study.
I can confirm.
Yeah, thank you. I'm from Bangor. I did study. So I think it's seen that less on. And it's the same with female like presenting comedy.
Yeah.
They're just going to talk about their wombs.
Yeah. Interesting. So like you were in the stand-up sort of scene way before I was, because I think you were still maybe doing a bit of stand-up whenever I was first starting.
You were starting, I was going, nah.
And you were about to say, fuck like this, I'm done.
Yeah.
Do you prefer sort of hosting as opposed to just sort of being on stand? What did you think? How did you feel doing stand-up here?
I was one of the first women in Northern Ireland, I think, and then I did that horrendous.
Oh, Find Me the Funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Yes. I was talking to Mickey Bartlett about this. Yes.
With Sean Haggerty and all.
Yeah.
And like, do you know what? That got them all out there, and it was great. But I hadn't really found myself. So therefore, I was talking with a voice that wasn't authentic to me.
Yeah.
And how do you write comedy that isn't your true voice?
Yeah.
I was saying what I thought people wanted me to say.
Yes.
And then I was kind of mentored into saying, like, talk about being a lesbian.
Lean
more
into that.
Do that.
Yeah.
Because it's edgy and different. But I hadn't really found out who I was back then.
Yes.
So it was all quite jarring and also very heavy Catholic v Protestant, masculine energy comedy. Quite hard to sort of go into that. And when you're already unsure of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I just, there was a lot of wonderful comics out there who were very inclusive.
Yeah.
But overall, it was quite tough.
Yeah.
And I don't think I had the voice that I have now. So that's why it wasn't for me.
I would like to say it's totally different now, but I don't think it is. But I think in terms of seeing like a slightly more inclusive lineup and more diverse lineups, we're starting to see that.
Yep.
But I really do. I get what you're saying about the authenticity bit because I struggle with that a lot. And I went through a period of going, oh my goodness, especially when there was this sort of explosion of live comedy here in Northern Ireland after the pandemic and podcasts and things like that. And people started going big and selling out big shows and things like that. And I was starting, we're delighted for them. I was starting, well done. That's when I started to struggle with what I was doing because I was like, oh, maybe I should be doing more of something. Here's me sitting in a podcast. Maybe I should be doing a podcast. But I started to write material and do songs that I just wasn't that happy with. And I realised now it's because I wasn't being true to myself. I was trying to think what would be funny or looking at what everybody else is doing and trying to be a wee bit more like that. And it just doesn't work.
No,
it doesn't work.
It's like, you can feel the eye rolls.
Yeah.
When you go on stage, like trying to go on after someone talking about granny porn and, having a dick and, lads kind of culture, and then going on and then going, right, well, if I talk about female focused stuff, the energy in the room is very filled with testosterone right now. So they don't want it.
Yeah.
If I do it as talk about being a woman in comparison to that, they're going to roll their eyes and go, of course she's talking about that. So how do I talk about my life experience without sounding like, another woman talking about her life experience? But it's because we're kind of almost groomed into thinking what we have to say is vastly different. It's just a different perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you just eat yourself up in it.
Yeah.
So it is tough. It is tough as a queer or female or person with trans history even going out there and doing comedy in the classic norms. But it's good there's more.
It is good. And I think we sort of get a wee bit in our heads about what an audience is going to think. And I have started to realise they're not as rigid as I think. I used to get really intimidated by like going out on the Empire and the big stage out there and everything. And
I have a terrible story about that.
But I have started addressing it head on. The opening line I do every time is about having to follow men onto the stage and appreciating that. I won't do it now because it's the only big laugh I get at the start of my set. But I address it up front and say, I know you've had, like 4 or 5 men coming before me and this is what this is, it's a bit jarring to see me on stage. But I really enjoy now just leaning a wee bit more into what I think is funny. And like I have a bit about putting on tights at the minute and forgetting to shave my legs and another bit. And it's men that are, it's never just, do you know what I mean? People think like, oh, you're a female comedian. The women must love you. I'm like, no, the men love me as well, actually. They can actually imagine a funny scenario without having experienced it themselves.
And you would think we would be used to men coming before us. But here we are.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Yeah.
What happened to you in the Empire?
Well, obviously I've never done there since for various reasons, but I did Paddy's Day.
Oh God.
I'd say about 6 or 7 years ago, and it was Fred Cook was on.
Yes.
Right, it was a good
guitar
lineup,
and everything.
Amazing lineup, and it was honestly just where drunk Protestants had gone to die. Like they were like, this is where we're going to hold up for the night. But like with no crack. And woman just, and I mean, the whole night was ludicrous. The MC couldn't get a grip of them. Every act got heckled with weird heckles. I came on and my heckle was this woman who was with her like 24-year-old lover. She was about 50 something with no teeth. Like absolute fucking icon. I I was just doing the set, and I literally was like looking over this way to the audience. She was to the right, and she just stopped and went, "How dare you!" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "How dare you! I did not set my house on fire. It was the IRA." And I just like, "Where do you go? Where do you go?" And I was like,
"Stop everything. Give her a microphone. Let's hear the story."
I had menopause, and I was like, "What's the menopause happening?" And I think Fred Cook in the end, like the woman has to be escorted out.
Oh my God.
Normally he can like whip them back around.
Yeah.
He had gone down and was like, "If I give you a hug, will you calm down?" during his set. Because once she did that, that was her way. And then he went down, but then she started to escalate and she had to get trailed out. And I was like, okay.
Oh my God.
So that was a lot.
It's very hard to come back from that and go, anyway, tights. Was I talking about my tights there? I know. Do you know what? They've gotten really good in the Empire with like in terms of like crowd control.
Oh, great.
I don't know her name. There's this amazing security lady who works there now. And she patrols that room.
She's a mum.
Yes, 100%.
100%
She knows who hasn't tidied their rooms as well.
Yeah.
She's just sort of said, but it was really funny. I was there the other night, like 2 weeks ago. And I can't remember who was on. It was either Andrew or Ryan or somebody was on stage anyway. But she was literally almost stood behind him, like arms crossed, just like looking like his minder. And he doesn't need any help controlling a crowd. But she was she has this effect on the room. And I've seen her just go up to people, tap them on the shoulder, and take them out before they become trouble. Brilliant. So get you back there. That's what you need, a mum.
Yeah, man. You know,
just to give the look
and the mouth. You know. When I do a car, I have a chat. I'm fucked.
Well, what are audiences like in Cabaret? Is that a slightly different?
Yeah, and do you know what? See, to be clear, I found my passion, and it is absolutely hosting.
Yeah. Oh, well, you're brilliant at it,
I love
Gemma.
being a hype man. Doing a set, I can do sets as well, and I'm excited. I've got a couple of gigs booked in the new year that I'm going to be starting to do smaller sets again and build myself up again because I feel like now is my time that I do have my voice.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw the big dick energy back in the ring and see what happens. But hosting, I love being the hype man of other people. But the crowd can be anything. So you'll have 80-year-olds having their birthday with their family from Portadown. And a hen with giant willy straws, you know, in the same room.
Got every colour of humanity from one extreme to the other.
Everything.
Yeah. And you don't tend to get that on a stand-up night.
You don't. No. Because of the demographic kind of targets one type of person. But that I love that challenge because, you know, I'll kind of do a little speech about like, for tonight, it doesn't matter where you're from, who you are. We're living in an apocalypse right now. Let's just all celebrate the fact that we can do this together and just have a cheeky laugh. I'm not going to tell anybody if you laugh at a filthy joke. Yeah. I'm going to say fingering straight out the bat. See if you don't laugh, that's okay. By the end, you'll be laughing at fingering.
Yeah.
And then we had age concerning for a Christmas dinner.
Right.
And they and I had said something, I don't know, something sexual anyway. And a hen went, "Oh, they're there." And I was like, they invented riding. And you know what? They all clapped and cheered. All these 80-year-olds. And it was surreal. I was like, I don't want to imagine he's riding, but you have every right. Yes, and absolutely. I hope I am. Yeah.
No, it's such a good night out. And it's been going for a while now, hasn't it? The Cabaret Supper Club.
27 years.
Oh God, is it that much?
Yeah. Maybe longer actually. We definitely had a 25th birthday a couple of years ago. So it probably is longer.
And it's hard work.
It is hard work.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours nonstop.
Yeah.
Like I'm off the stage for 3 minutes.
Bloody hell.
And then I'm back on. No, there's no act longer than maybe 4 minutes.
Right, okay.
And then I'm back on, and then you got set up, and you got hoops to go up, and then you've got to do like this is your life basically around the tables, and you've got to be mindful that you've got to get everything down by 11. Mm-hmm. So, but I love that. I love timing. I'm a strict timer.
I would love to be. I've said this before. I'm a terrible MC. Like I just cannot do. I just get distracted by like there's like a fly in the room. I'm like, oh look, and then forget what I'm doing, who I'm talking to. Yeah. I need to have like a set, and I know what I'm doing, and I do it. Mm. But I would love to. There's some sort of former teacher element to me that means that's what I want to do. I want to kind of be in charge of the room, because I have had bad experiences as an audience member where there's been someone in the crowd that's been kind of ruining it for everybody else. And on 2 separate occasions, I have lost my shit. Like I've become the disruptive audience member because I've stood up and like screamed at them. and ruined the night for everybody.
I love
Nobody
that.
wants that. Oh God, no.
It's
Nobody
very,
wanted it.
Richard Griffith did that in the theatre when somebody's
Oh,
mobile
really?
phone went
Oh,
off.
really?
Yeah.
I can't. I lost it one night it was in the Errigal, and it was actually, this was so long ago. This was a comedian, Vittorio Angeloni,
Oh yeah.
who's doing he's so successful at the minute. This was a million years ago. He was doing like 10 minutes at the Errigal, and I was going through quite a rough time. So I was there with my sisters, and there was wine involved, and we were just in the audience watching, and he was getting Vittorio's very good at crowd work. He was being relentlessly interrupted and heckled by this really drunk woman, not me. And he kept just sort of trying to get her. He kept talking to her, trying to get her to be quiet. And then he'd started into his bit again. She'd interrupt him. And I was really I forget where I am. But I was getting, and there was something about the age of him. I was like, he's a young boy. I forgot.
He's just a boy.
He's just a child.
Not yet a woman.
But I stood up in the middle of, it's not a big room, stood up and I went, will you shut the fuck up? Screamed at this one. People were just like, what? It was like one of those, those singing waiters that pretend like I'm just here to work, and then and I just started barreling at her. And Vittorio was just on stage in shock. He just stood there and went, right, thank you, Teresa. Just sit down. And I was like, I'm just gonna take myself outside. I had to go outside and calm down. I was so furious.
That's fair though. I honestly why do people pay money for a ticket?
You hear this all the time.
To try and be the show.
But you hear this all the time.
It's so
sure,
common.
they love it, and it's all part of the show. And I heard somebody give some good advice saying the people who do that are normally the ones who consider themselves the funny one in their group.
Yes.
So they feel really threatened that someone's laughing at someone else. Mm-hmm. So all you have to do is give them one laugh, or let them, say one thing, go, that is funny. Now shut the fuck up. Sit. Shush.
See, I get that with men.
Oh yeah. Threatened by
when Dick comes out and they're going through.
Now, when you mean Dick, you mean your character, Dick Van Dyke?
Maybe.
Your drag. When Dicks come out on the stage.
When I send bios and dick pics to bookers. So when I come out as Dick Van Dyke, they're like, oh, okay, don't know how to tackle this one.
Yeah.
Because it was a female comedian just doing that. But they're sort of like a man, and I don't know if I'm sexually attracted. And
there's just a lot of confusion.
Yeah, why have I a semi? And so, but there's always when it's Christmas and the staff dues are out.
Oh God.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shauna's broke down her tits because she only drinks once a year, and she's decided to drink all of that year's alcohol in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
There's a woman windmilled vomit on me.
Oh my
I had
God.
To keep going. Anyway,
pro.
And then there's always the guy that's in the office, and you probably get it at your gigs, that's like,
I'm the crack.
I think you'll find I do the jokes around here. And then I just sort of eviscerate them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you okay? Have you got that out of your system? I can't help noticing I've got the microphone and you've paid.
I know.
And just remember that every time you try and speak out loud, nobody paid to listen to you.
I know.
So if you could fuck up. I know you're a player, but I'm a coach.
Oh, very good.
It'll go one of two ways. They'll either be like, well, I have no longer got a penis, or they will be like, well, and then I'll start working with their mates and be like, are you their carer? Is this, are you all right? Is he okay? Does he need a minute?
Yeah.
Or I'll let you, there's one time the guy wouldn't fuck up, and I was like, do you know what? Let's just stop the show. Let's listen to you. Tell us everything that you want to say in the next hour and a half while I'm talking. Let's get it done now. And then we can carry on with the rest of the show. We can all go home happy. And he just went like that.
Very good.
Great.
Oh, I need to be better at it. I really do. I used to just scream or shout, try and sort of shock them into being quiet.
No, then you shouldn't be better at it, Teresa. People should just learn to not
true.
do.
That's true.
We
That's
shouldn't
true.
have
just
to get
learn how
better
to behave
at defending ourselves.
True.
Let's put it on men.
Yeah.
And toxic people to do better.
The worst one I experienced, this wasn't as a comedian. When I was a student, I used to sing in pubs, to be paid to sing in pubs, not just out in the piss.
A cry
just
for help.
There she goes again.
Eric's like, not her again.
Papa, can you hear me? It's send her home.
I'd love that.
So, No, so I'd be in the corner of a bar in Donegal with like a wee electric keyboard and a bossa nova beat, just singing the classic. You know, a 19-year-old girl singing Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree.
That's
People in Donegal were like, it's not what we came here for. Where's the trad session? And I'd be like, this is a song by Boyzone. Do, do, do. So
put her buffering on in the background.
And oh no, honestly, it was so bad. But it was my job for the summer and I loved it. So anyway, I was in this wee pub in Rathmullen, I think it was. But anyway, I was singing a song and it was like the night of the World Cup final when France had won. And I remember that because it meant I had to wait until the match was over before I could start playing. So we're all sitting there. I'm sitting there with all my gear. Had to let them watch the full World Cup final. Have you experienced this, Luke?
98.
98, correct? That's right. So I was 19. I'm not making it up.
Thank you for that input.
July 1998. Okay. So I had to sit and wait for them to finish the match. So by the time I actually got started playing my like 3-hour set, it was already like 10 o'clock at night. Everybody was hammered. I started to play a song and this fella came up and he stood in front of me and he was like trying to sing along and I was just like, yeah. You can't really stop playing to sort of tell someone to fuck up or sit down. So you have to keep going. Then he came round behind my piano and mic and put his arm around me and started swinging and singing and everything like this. And I was like, yes. Oh, why did you sit down? Just trying to placate people the whole time, right? I'd handle it very differently now, but I was like, just didn't know what to do.
19.
I was 19, right? A wee girl. Now, my dad happened to be in the pub as well. So he came up and he had a very good way of diffusing it because he came up and he said, come on, mate, and I'll get you a drink. Come on up to the bar and I'll get you a drink. So he did. And he went off, but the guy's mates had just seen my dad go up and speak to him and bring him out, and they thought my dad had gone up and had a go at him. So this whole bar turned around and started in on my dad, and guys like shouting at him, and it just suddenly very quickly became what looked like a bar brawl and a western, right? Chairs being broken on people's back. No, they were all just like shouting and hollering at my dad, and I was still singing, you know, like, You're Still the One I Want by Shania Twain. And I was like, looks like we made it. And my dad just shouted over to me, don't stop the music. Please don't stop the music. He just went, don't stop the music, right? So I had to keep singing while I watched these people like pushing my dad, knock his glasses and everything. And I was like, you're still the one I run.
Your dad's an icon.
So in the end, it all like because the music didn't stop, I like to think. The bar manager came out and everything, and it was like, what's up? And you're like, he's buying him a drink, everybody calm down, blah, blah, blah. And they all got taken outside, like my dad in the middle being swept away. And I was shooketh for the rest of the night. I was singing the same 3 songs. I kept forgetting I'd already sung a song and singing it again. And at the end of the night, he was like, no, if the music had stopped, that's when the fighting would have started. So you have to keep going. Yeah. So that was my first experience of that. So I think since then, when I'm doing comedy now, I do just try and ignore it. Like I don't, unless it does get really disruptive, which it doesn't often, but I'll just sort of power on through now.
I find it interesting because I am a male presenting woman. When I do drag, women think that it's okay to touch me. It's very interesting.
Oh,
it's
really?
almost like, see the way men get lecherous with women?
Yes.
Women get lecherous with me.
Right.
Because it's a safe way of doing back to a man what they get done to them.
Oh,
that's my theory.
Yes.
So they'll grope me, they'll grab me. I like
Jesus.
I'll get like crazy messages. Hasn't happened in a long time. Which part of me is like, thank God. Part of me is like, why?
Boo.
Bring that on me.
So you think it fits because they feel safe in doing
yeah,
so?
Yeah. It's not great for me. I mean, it's a very ironical. It's a very ironic situation. But I had a woman and she literally swung from this 200-pound wig that I got. That was my breaking point. I was like, I was 200 quick, get off my hair.
Oh my God.
That was and also you're ripping my roots out. And I wouldn't often wear a wig, very, very rarely. And then that's the one time I did, this woman decided to use me as a pole.
Jesus Christ.
So that's I find that interesting with drag. That as well, like, and drag queens get it a lot from all genders. All genders. That when you do drag, you become a doll that can be explored physically, not just to be looked at because they're so intrigued by it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that way.
God, people are strange.
People are dicks.
Wow.
Yeah.
But is it's just women you fight? You don't...
No, I've had the odd man be like, but then men, I'm not the aesthetic that men want. Do you know what I mean? I'm big and butch, and I'm not a size like 10. And the guys that do this kind of thing are very kind of classic in their approach to women and what they expect women to look like. So they'll do it to try and belittle me. But like there's one or two, but then I have had one or two private messages from men.
Okay. Say no more.
Say no more. And I'm like, no, thank you. So,
yeah.
I'll pretend to have one. Don't want one.
Okay.
Right.
Embarrassing stories. I'm going to read you one to start us off here.
Okay.
I don't even know how long we've been. I forgot to check what time
We've
we
actually
started.
been on for 3 hours.
We're about 35 minutes.
Oh, cool. Right, okay. So Gemma, I've asked people to send me their embarrassing stories, and I need more. Okay, so because I'm about to read out the third one, and then I'm going to have to start making them up. So
I'll do like a call out to the guys.
Oh, good, brilliant.
Because like loads of like, dreadful stories.
Great. Okay. Right. Okay. And I won't use anyone's name if they don't want me to. But it so happens I'm terrible at changing names. So every time I try, I just change like one letter, and they're like, "We know exactly who you're talking
Not
about."
Gary, it's Barry.
Yeah. So, but this is a good one because this is from Leslie, which is her real name, and you know the way in the news it'll be like David not his real name, and I'm like Leslie, her real name. It's actually an embarrassing story that happened to a former boss of hers, so it's not her embarrassing. Great. So it's okay, but can laugh at him. Right. So I'll read you the start of this, and then I want you to try and guess what happens next to make this an embarrassing story.
Okay.
All right. So this is Leslie. My old boss had a big white Range Rover. One day, his daughter had been invited to a pool party in the next village. This is in England, by the way. Doesn't exist here.
I already hate him.
A pool party in the next village. I'm thinking like The Only Way is Essex, that sort of place.
Dickhead, yeah.
It just so happened the village they were living in was flooded that day. So he thought, well, I'm in a big white Range Rover. I can get her there, no problem. So he drove through the village and in the process pissed off everybody in the village for driving too fast, making waves, making a mess, etc. The press got hold of a picture of his Range Rover driving through the village flood, and it ended up in the newspaper with a headline like something like, "People flooded, but this man managed to get through." It was probably a snappier headline than that. So he's in the press. He got his daughter to the party and thought he was wonderful and decided to send the link to everyone, including his clients, so they could read the article. So what do you think happens next to make this an embarrassing story for him?
I'm imagining like, do you know the opening scene of Emmerdale?
Mm-hmm.
When the Land Rover goes over the bridge and it sprays. Yes. That's such a niche specific remember. Yeah. So already I think of him as like your man Tate.
Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of an older sort of like Essexy type.
Yeah, no, I just want to make him in the worst possible light.
Okay, so this is Andrew Tate. This is Andrew Tate.
His daughter has gone to a party in a village where it's flooded. So who else is at this fucking party? They're all flooded, love.
It is a pool party, so I don't think they cared.
Literally swam to it. Like, so she's there, Billy No Mates. Just this party. I would say that whoever he sprayed with the water has been a contract for his company.
Oh.
And they're like, you're a bell end.
Yeah.
Or my cat died in that flood. He was fine with a Land Rover tire track over his body.
Well, the cat wrapped around the bonnet just in the photo. Okay.
I would say something like that.
Okay. So what you're not at all close. He got his daughter to the party, thought it was wonderful, decided to send the link to the article to all his clients.
Yeah.
Right? Unfortunately, he'd sent the link to the newspaper site and not the article. And one of his clients didn't open it on the same day. He just waited till Monday, and the headline changes every day. So this client opened it up on Monday morning with a message from this guy saying, "Look, this was me." And the article read, "Paedophile caught in Asda's toilets."
I actually knew when you said that. I was like, it's paedophile.
Yeah,
it's
always.
Be a paedophile.
Always. I just love the fact he sent it to all his clients and went, "Look, this was me." Brilliant. That shows the age of him as well. Sending the link to the
as well. Honestly,
I know.
Look at me. now.
I know. Do you remember when it was an exciting thing to be? This is before social media. If you were in the paper, like that was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. But also, like, if you can afford a big white Land Rover, I hate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. First time I was in the paper was me and my sisters did some fundraising for an MRI scanner. It's very specific. We were really young, and my wee brother was very sick and needed an needed a scan, and he had to go somewhere quite far away to get it. So we decided, with our wee dollies and everything, we were going to do a bring and buy sale in our front garden and raise some money. Now an MRI scanner, like 500 grand.
So cute.
And I think we made about £25, right? So my ridiculously supportive parents were like, I'm phoning the papers, right? They phoned the newspaper and they were like, there's some young girls here have just sold their dolls. So he came along and he was like, how much have you raised? And we were like, £25.20. And he was like, right. And he took out for the picture, for the photo, for the newspaper, he took out like 100 quid in cash and he made us hold it. So we're sitting there with all the fanning this money out and a wee photo of us all, and then took that, put it in the paper, and then took the money back off us, put it in his pocket and left. Because we were like, oh, look at all that. So there's a photo of us holding all this money, and he went, right, that was just for the photo, give me it back. And off he went. Not nice. The press. We're like, it's for our sick brother. He's like, give me it back. So there you go. That was my first brush with the press.
I hope he has nits.
I know. Although I'm terrible. I did do, I was very pleased to get any sort of press or whatever before I went to the Fringe, because I was like soliciting journalists myself. Go, could somebody write a story just about me? And I'm not very good at giving interviews because I babble a lot. But I like to think that the journalist will tidy that all up and like write it in like nice, just write nice short sentences. And I had this article of me where I think somebody just transcribed me talking.
They definitely did then.
They left all the ramble. Like, listen to me now. I can't even get the sentence out. All of that was in writing, and it was all like me saying things like, you know, and that sort of thing, kind of like. And I just remember my mum read the article and was like, well, it's a lovely picture. Your picture's lovely. That's a nice headshot they used. I'm not good at it. Anyway, Gemma, embarrassing stories. Do you have an embarrassing story that sort of haunts you, or one that you, in a funny way? Keep it light.
Yeah, I've done a lot of things. Like, I got really drunk at the Teresa Royale and passed out on my hall stairs.
Okay.
And someone took a photo of me like that, and then I got photoshopped into like different poses, like on top of the Empire State Building. Like, it became like almost like a local viral meme before memes were a thing. It actually got put across the Last Supper table and put on someone's birthday cake. So,
that's brilliant.
Yeah, and then whenever I was 21, I wasn't out to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I was very girly back then, and I lived in Bangor, so like gay didn't exist.
Yeah.
So you used to sneak to the Kremlin on your own.
Okay.
And it was just very exciting. And I remember walking in for the first time, and Teddy Von Tramp was there, and it was like, you know, when they see the Brachiosaurus for the first time in the start of Jurassic Park, and they're like, that was me. And I ended up going back home with this girl that I met, and I'd known her for a wee while, but we said tonight was the night. And very, very drunk, very, 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 very drunk. Mm-hmm. Woke up the next morning to my best friend at my bedroom door screaming, Gemma, get up! Because we were going to Dublin for the weekend for my birthday.
Right.
And she thought I was sleeping with like some sort of rock metal dude with long hair. And then that person turned around and there was a tit. And so that was a very difficult way to come out.
Just and presenting this other woman.
Being like,
look at this.
Surprise! And then I had to get into the car, like still drunk, steamboated with my bag, get to the train station. And then we sat on the train for 2.5 hours to Dublin with her and her cousin.
Not talking about it?
Process it. No, just like little bursts of like when did this happen? I thought that was a man. And I was like, I know, yeah, sorry. I was like, oh my God. And like back then, like 20 years ago, I'd only worked out there was gay and bisexual. Yeah. Like coming out, like it was just not talked about. Yeah. It wasn't like gay nights or anything. Hadn't seen a drag queen. Hadn't seen anything. Didn't even know that my uncle was gay. because
really?
you just wasn't
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about.
yeah.
So then me and my friend are just sitting in this train and I'm like, oh my God, please let
And you
me
hadn't,
die.
because it wasn't you hadn't decided now was the time to have a conversation with her, so you hadn't
Probably
even got...
not. No,
No.
when there's a lady beside me in the bed. No.
And hungover and just like... Actually, that's probably the best way to do it. You can't overthink anything that you're gonna chat
I mean,
about.
I wouldn't say the best way. Maybe clothed would be good.
Just bring it. Yes, clothed, perhaps.
Some sort of clothing. So that still haunts me.
Yes.
So that wasn't great.
But are you still friends with the friend? Oh no.
No.
Okay. No.
No. Not just sort of grew apart. You know, I went to uni and she didn't, and we just became different people and different paths in life. You know.
Yeah.
But I actually got like her initial tattooed on my shoulder.
Your friend's initial?
Yeah. Like I was 18 and like we were best friends for life.
Oh,
so we got like our initials tattooed on our shoulder. So
does she have yours?
No, she got Bon Jovi instead. She literally got BJ.
Oh, sure. Bon Jovi. Yeah, sure. Okay.
I was so hurt. I was like,
Who went first?
me.
Did you go in first and got her initials and then she was like, yeah, I'll do that too?
But like such a serial killer thing to do. And like in hindsight, like now I've obviously had a lot of therapy and I'm not as needy in my life.
God, Gemma.
I know. Look, do stuff like that's not the worst tattoo I have.
What is the worst? Do you want to speak about it?
I have triple X tattooed on the bottom of my back like a Trump stamp.
Oh.
So again, when I was a teenager, we were all very...
Well, that was very, in fact, I have a lot of friends who have...
You're a liar.
A tattoo.
I got called Trebor Mint. But the lads got it on their neck.
Yeah.
And we got Trump stamps.
Mm-hmm.
So there is men walking about with triple X. Obviously covered up now, I'd like to think.
Yes.
I get mine covered up, but yeah. So I've done a lot of stupid stuff in my youth. Mostly to do with drink.
Oh, of course, that's all of us.
So
yes.
Yeah, so plenty of awkward things.
It just makes me feel better. I embarrass myself a lot, like a ridiculous amount. And I mean, this is episode 13, 14 maybe. And I don't know how many stories I've exposed about myself. And I actually was making a wee list of them yesterday. And I still have that many more to go.
I know. I saw Alan saying you're cursed.
Wrong. Yeah, he's called me Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
There is something wrong with me, I think. But I kind of really like laughing at myself. Like, I don't know why
So healthy.
I don't know. Is it healthy?
I think it's healthy. If you can laugh at the mistakes you make.
Yes,
instead
that's
of let
true.
them eat you up.
Yeah,
which is what we do in our youth, I think.
Yes.
You know, things haunt us.
Yes.
Until we own them. It's like naming the demon.
That's true. Actually, I don't think I would have thought this was so hilarious when I was a teenager. I think looking back now, I'm like, that is actually, what a loser. That was very funny.
I did a pub quiz for Queen's and was sitting reading the quiz. They had written the quiz. They wanted me to do this quiz, and I read it out, and I was like, "What bird?" And the like blah 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 whatever it was, and I was like, "The answer is emus." Emus. It was emus, and like it's professors and
Queens.
Queens.
Well, listen,
like
Emma's telling everyone they're wrong. I've had that experience as a teacher. You get into and this stays with me now. It's a form of trying to control the classroom behaviour. You have to give the impression that you have the answer to everything. It's very hard to say, and it's actually very powerful now to be able to just go, I don't know. But when I was a teacher, I would never have said, I don't know. I always had to give the impression that I was in full control and I knew everything. And I was covering a class one day. This is when I used to teach abroad. So the kids' first language wasn't English. So they were constantly, every now and then, no matter how intelligent they were, they'd maybe stumble over a word and just go, oh, what does that mean? So I was covering this class, just sitting at the front, and this girl put her hand up and she went, Miss, sorry, what's a porpoise? Right? And I went, it's a giant lizard. Get on with your work. Right? And then I just went back to, and I actually was like,
you sound like a bitch.
And I was like, oh, I was a bitch. Oh, I was a bitch when I was a teacher.
I looked at you and been like,
and I went, it's a giant lizard. Okay, stop disrupting the class. And then I sat there going, that doesn't sound right. And I had to like look it up on my phone, like under the desk, and I had to call her up to the front. And I went, Mercedes, could you come up here, please? There's an urgent. I was like, Mercedes. It was a private school, Gemma, abroad. And I went, God, that was her real name. I need to start changing names. This is ridiculous.
You didn't have to say it was, though. You didn't have to say it.
That's the issue. I have to stop. I can't stop myself.
Cut GDPR.
And I went, can you come up to the front, please? There's been a message from home. She came up to the front. And
Your auntie's dead.
She came up to the front and I went, it's actually like a dolphin. And she went, oh, right. And I went, your family are fine. Sit down.
But next time they won't be.
Don't. If you ask me another goddamn question. So, yeah.
To be fair, I was sitting here going, is that a skunk?
Porpoise. It's like a,
yeah.
It is
sense.
a dolphin.
It's a wee one, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, to be honest, I'm not the person to tell.
No, fair enough. Actually, in hindsight, I thought it was a skunk.
Or I'll threaten your family.
All
Basically,
right.
I'll be like, there's been a message from home. And she was all, oh my God. And I went, it's a dolphin. Sit down. Don't tell anyone.
Fucking message from home.
I know, it's so drastic.
so dark.
I know. Your mother. Oh, anyway. I don't teach anymore. Just as a reminder.
Really?
Just as a reminder. Everyone's children.
If anyone's looking for a teacher.
I was great crack in the staff room. Not really in the classroom. I was an absolute bitch.
It must be very hard, though.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes. It is very, very hard. And I won't have anything said about teachers and their holidays because if they didn't have them, there wouldn't be any teachers.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I've got Frankie and 3 full days a week at the minute.
How old is Frankie now?
She's 7.
Oh, is she? Oh my God. Where has time gone?
She's 8 in February and she turned around a while ago and I asked her to clean her room. She was like, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my father. God's my father.
Holy shit.
And as
I don't even know what you
a child that came from a same-sex couple situation, I'm not ready to answer that sort of question.
Yeah.
So I just went, yeah, fair enough.
For now he is.
Fair enough. God's your dad.
Oh my goodness.
And he sells Avon.
I'll come in and go, Frankie, there's been a message from home. Just come with me.
There's been a message from God, Frankie. He says, get your room
He's not
cleaned,
your dad.
or all your labubu's are gone.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to finish it there, Gemma. Thank you so much. You've
Thank
got so you're saying you're working on some solo bits and pieces coming up?
Yes, I'm hopefully doing an opener for somebody on their tour, and then I've got a couple of other wee bits going on. I'm in Limerick next week for Dyke Night.
Lovely.
Very cliche. That's what it's about, guys. And then I have the King Night coming up on the 26th of September.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
And then obviously Cabaret. So,
okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming
Thank
and
you.
sharing your Scundered stories with me. I've loved it.
Delighted.
Thank you. Thanks. Delighted.